James Lomenzo here at Yamaha Artist Services. I'm here to talk to you today about the new TRBX 305, and they have a 304 as well. This is the 5-string version. Brand new entry-level bass made by Yamaha. It's a fantastic instrument, and I'm going to tell you all about it in a minute. The one thing I've noticed about other bass manufacturers is sometimes the quality is kind of spotty and uneven. And the one thing I know about Yamaha, because I've been playing Yamahas for years and years, is that they're really consistent. And with this new line, these TRBX 305s and 304s, I think they're really kind of upping the bar on this kind of an instrument at this price point. And what I mean by that is, well, take a look. It's a bolt-on neck with 5 laminates. Looks like maple and mahogany. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good guess. Maple and mahogany. That's actually my favorite construction for a bass. It's a nice hybrid. What I mean by that is instead of just having a bass where the neck goes right through, which is a whole different sound, you actually have the sustain and integrity of a neck with 5 laminates, which is very dense and very hard to kind of push out a line, which gives it a lot of sustain and connects the notes very quickly. But you also have the sound of a traditional bolt-on instrument. And what's great about that is, to my ear, there's a different envelope, there's different sound, there's an actual more of an attack on these basses, which gives you a nice hybrid of a traditional tone and a modern tone. So that's a really great feature of this. Again, it's really easy to play. The strings are sitting virtually right over the frets, and the neck is really, really thin too. But again, structurally very, very stiff, so that leads to a lot of sustain, and you can actually hear that as I play it. It's sustaining very nicely. That's the low B string, and that actually sounds like a piano string. Let me just hit that flat out for you. You hear the overtones on it. It's like the Spinal Tap movie. It's still going. This may take a while. Stand by. Probably fade there. But the great thing about it is with this kind of an action, it's really easy to play fast runs. Nice legato passages. So a great player, a joy to play, an affordable bass, a beautiful looking thing, and actually something I would take on stage with me. Going through the bass guitar now, I've been looking at the electronics, and a very cool system they have here is this switch right here. 5-way switch. All these program sounds, they're profile sounds that Yamaha built into the circuitry. And if you put it right up the middle, you don't have to use them at all. It's actually the bass flat as it is, and it sounds fabulous the way it is. Right, that's its own sound. And that's without even bringing in the treble and the bass. If I do that, we can enhance the top and the bottom right off of that, which is traditional. Most basses have that. Here's the treble end, so you can hear that. Right? Okay, so that's the treble, and you can get a lot of pump on the bass. Really want even more, you can pump the treble way down and get that bass to really kind of push forward. Do some reggae stuff. Okay, so that's flat. You've got treble and bass on top of that, and you've also got your pickup mix control, which you can get a lot of tonality out of that alone too. I'll just sweep that and you can hear the differences. Nice little grind and a real growl out of it. lot of snap and articulation. And again, if you mix them together, you can get anything between, which is great. So you can find a little nasal sound in there if you favor the front pickup and sneak the back end. Which is probably the way I would use it. Okay, so now that's just flat, just using the tone controls we have right there. Now we've got these profiles built in, 5 of them. The flat one we've already heard. If we go all the way down here, you've got a slat profile, which that's the slat profile sound, which is great. What I did with this was actually picked up the treble a little bit, lowered the bass a little bit, and I was actually even able to modify that through an amplifier. The great feature of this, if you're not catching on yet, is that this one bass, you could actually favor a lot of different styles of music just by hitting the switch and moving the tone around. You get a lot of tone out of this. I've got this amplifier over here to my right just set flat. I'm not even using any tone on it at all. We're just using the bass sound. And it's a great feature. I wish more basses had this, even wish some of the upper line basses had this. Again, this is a very affordable bass. You'd be shocked, and you will be shocked, at how much this instrument costs. I recommend you go to your store and check it out as soon as you can. But until you do, let's talk about it more. Okay, so that was the slap tone. There's a pick tone, which is the second position down here, and let's see what that sounds like. I'll flatten out the EQ. Yep. So that's kind of a very direct sound, and that's not bad at all. It gets rid of a lot of the top and gives you just a little bit of boost on the lower mids. Sauce there, the low or the high frequency mid-range, you can put some more top end on it or take some top end off or add some more push to it from the low end. So you can get a lot of sounds just based off of that as well. Here we go, just give it more top end just so you can hear the difference. And give it some low end as well, maybe back down the volume. Experience, a sound like that where you really put a little bit too much top end on it works great when you're playing with really loud guitars, Marshall amp driven double stacks. It sounds a little too trebly if you push it up that way, but you'd be surprised how when you're playing in context with a band, it actually lends you a lot of articulation. And that's one of my tricks that I use a lot. This bass will do that very easily, so that's a very cool feature on it. All right, so this position down here next to the bottom, that's denoted as a finger position, and there's a profile for playing with your fingers. I just do it anyway. I don't really usually worry about that too much, but let's just see what that sounds like. Okay, so the tone's flat. That's a great sound. Extraneous top or low end. It just really focuses on the meat of your fingers, the way it sounds when you play it. And that's great for playing old Motowns, ditties. I have to do that for copyright purposes, but you know how the song goes. basically it really enhances playing with your fingers. Again, if you were in a cover band, this is a great bass for that sort of a thing because you can play all kinds of style. You don't have to pull out the other bass to try and get that other tone. You can actually replicate a lot of tones straight off this instrument. And that is a great savings not only for your wallet but also for carrying around to the gig. Imagine carrying one guitar to the gig. So that's a very cool feature as well. Okay, so that was the finger section. And again, if you wanted to, you could put a little more bass on it and get rid of the top end. Or vice versa. There's a little more push on that. Very preponderant low end. You probably can't really hear it there, but it's filling the room and it really sounds great. And you've always got that really nice harmonic character on top, which you probably can hear, and that's great too. So again, I think that has to do with the neck construction and the way the whole thing comes together, actually. Okay, and the last setting is the solo section, which is actually my favorite setting because I always feel like I'm playing a solo, let's face it. But aside from that, it tends to really give a lot of push to the whole instrument and takes away a lot of low end. You can almost play chords with it. Sustain is great on this instrument. Okay, let's see if we can push around the solo sound just to enhance it a little more. Okay, get a little more low end on it easily. Give maybe a little bit top end. Okay, so there you have it, a great versatile instrument. If you were going to take this to the gig, I mean, I would take one of these, I would throw this in my bag. It sounds fantastic. Again, it's amazing. You're going to be shocked at what this actually costs. And it's a great, not only is it a great bass, it's a great first bass. If you've been saving up your pennies and you want to get started, you could buy this and run a career with it. I'm sure of it. The TRBX 305, there's a 304 model with just 4 strings. And terrific new instruments by Yamaha. Check them out at your dealer.